The Stranger Things documentary just dropped on Netflix, and somehow it made the finale feel even messier than before. One of the biggest revelations is that production on the final season began before the scripts were finished. So if the ending felt rushed or uneven, there's a reason. They only had a rough idea of Eleven's final arc, and everything else was being figured out while cameras were already rolling. During early table reads, the Duffer Brothers even joked that they probably should have killed off some characters after seeing how massive the cast had become. But ultimately, they chose not to. Their reasoning was simple. They didn't want the show's final chapter to feel dark and depressing. They wanted to preserve the sense of adventure and fun that defined the series from the start. Another huge point of debate among fans was the lack of creatures in the abyss. Interestingly, even some writers argued that Demogorgons and bats had to be there. Whether those ideas were dropped because of time, budget, or creative choices isn't fully clear, but the discussion absolutely happened behind the scenes. Fans also complained that the final battle felt too short, and the documentary confirms why. There was originally a midway battle planned, but it was cut entirely. Despite the season having only 8 episodes, production was brutal. 237 shooting days, over 6,700 setups, 630 hours of footage, and more than 1,000 terabytes of raw material. The team had double the number of sets, but barely half the time a film production would usually get. What makes it even more extreme is that entire sequences of the final episode were filmed without knowing how the story would actually end. Scripts were still being written while sets were already built and scenes were shot. The documentary also shuts down the so-called conformity gate theory completely. During the final table read, everyone was emotional but satisfied, and the cameras linger on the creators as they officially say end series. That was the final line written for the show. There may be a subtle tease for the future though. One of the Duffers compares the ending to the door to Narnia closing, but then we see Holly and her friends heading into the basement. A younger generation. Another possible door. And honestly, releasing this documentary was risky. If you already liked the finale, it adds context. But if you were disappointed, it gives you even more reasons to question every decision.